Hi, Gary here. Structured freedom. Is it a contradiction or synergy? Back when I was in high school, we had this thing called modular scheduling. And basically, each day was broken into 15-minute mods. And we would have classes, the same classes would be anywhere from a half hour to an hour and a half in a subject area, and they'd be mixed up throughout the week at different times. And we also had a lot of free time. And during that free time, we could go to resource centers, we can go to the study hall, we can go to the lounge, we go to the gym, there's a bunch of other places. We had to stay on the property. And it was really an experiment to have us deal with our freedom and how we would go ahead and learn different skill sets around that so that we'd be prepared for college. Long story short, many of the students from my class and others had a much higher graduation rate from college, so it seemed to work long term. And what was this all about? Well, structured freedom is really about three things. It's goals, team, and structure. So if you look at high schools, basically their goal is to graduate from high school. The team is the faculty and teachers and the support. And the structure is there from 8 to 3. It's really very easy. Now we get out into the real world and it all changes. It becomes very disconcerting for many of us who are trying to change the world and go out there and make a difference. You show up, and so what's the structure? Well, I guess 9 to 5. What's the goal? Do your job. What's the team? I don't know, the person next to me in my cubicle and maybe my boss. But it's not real clear. And so successful people basically figure out and aware of how to do things in this way to be better. So they become better professionals or better business owners, or they climb the corporate ladder as their goal. And they structure their days to be more than 9 to 5 because they're going to work on themselves as well as work in their job, their business, or whatever. And they're going to get a team around them of people that can help them, mentors and other peers and advisors and so forth. And so you watch folks go through that time period. And what's happened here? Well, we know there's structure that takes place for successful entertainers and business people and athletes and so forth. Great examples from Malcolm Gladwell, the 10,000 hours. Take Bill Gates for Microsoft, and Bill Joy for Sun Microsystems, and Steve Jobs at Apple. They did the requisite 10,000 hours in computers and devices and so forth to become successful at their craft. Mozart, by the time he got to be the most creative, spent 10,000 hours in composing. Also, if you look at the 10,000 hours the Beatles spent in Hamburg and Liverpool at all these clubs before they invaded the U.S. in 1964, and you go on and on. There's this real structure that's taking place out here with certain goals and a team around all that. So we get to this point of retirement, or I like to say is reinvention. And what Ed Coyle used to say to us is there's 3 phases in life. There's the learning, the earning, and the yearning. So obviously this last phase is yearning. And guess what? It's structured freedom all over again. Why? Well, because if you go out to the retirement world and say, gee, I'll get up in the morning, get a cup of coffee, play around the internet and Facebook, this or that, maybe play some golf, take in a movie matinee, and kind of do whatever I feel like I want to do throughout the day. But the mind abhors both empty space and empty time. So what really happens is, hey, gee, Dad's now retired. He's a pretty good fix-it guy. Let's bring him over to the house and have him redo our bathroom. Hey, Mom and Dad can now watch the grandkids because we need some babysitting. Hey, the church says, hey, these guys are retired, let's have them do some volunteering out there. A neighbor has a dog and a cat and they're going on vacation and ask you to help out to do all that. Pretty soon, your day's being filled up with things not of your choosing, and you almost become something of an indentured servant. So that's not where we want to go. Where we see when people are reinventing themselves is they structure their days with goals for new things. They take up different new hobbies. They learn languages, they go on educational tours, they do all sorts of things to continue along in life. There's a coaching program called the Strategic Coach, and the fellow who started it, Dan Sullivan, says entrepreneurs have 4 freedoms. And these 4 freedoms are really time, money, relationship, and purpose. So when we look at that, he helps entrepreneurs get that back, because many of them are just totally out of control. When we look at retirees, people reinventing themselves, they have the time, they have the money, they have the relationships they can develop, especially with younger people, and they have hopefully purposes a purpose that they want to live for going forward. So those are the things we're looking at to structure our freedom along these goals. Same old thing, a teamwork, family, friends, if you're married, your spouse, other advisors, and so forth, within a structure, putting it together every day of how you want your day to go, your vacations a year in advance, and those kinds of things. And that's really what this whole structure of freedom is about. Now, I have to tell you, I didn't really get this until my early 40s, and I started really observing successful people and seeing how they did this. Because I really didn't, I thought freedom was different than what it was, and I really understood it better. And it kind of now takes me all the way back to my roots, up on the beautiful Hudson River at West Point. It's the most structured place I've ever known in my life, but I realized how well that was structured to bring me the freedoms I needed to really achieve the goals that I wanted in life. Thought you'd like to think about this a little bit. And wherever phase you are in life, structured freedom is really powerful. It allows you to really just get more focus, to be able to be more creative, slow down to speed up, be in the moment, and in our case, be there for our clients and for my family and friends and for me. And that's what I think structured freedom is all about. So until next time, enjoy.